Now in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the BenQ W4100i 4K home theater projector. We're going to take a look at all the specs, all the features. We'll see how well it performs in daylight and at nighttime, and we'll check out why you'd want to consider this as your next home theater upgrade, or if you're starting a home theater, it's a great place to start. Now over the years, I've noticed that as projectors become more powerful, the footprint becomes much smaller, and that's true with this projector as well. A couple things that we'll highlight. First of all, you do see your lens here, and you do have a cover at the very top here that you can open and close. Inside, you do have two adjustment points, and let's go ahead and take a look at what you have in here. So basically we have is one that you would use for focus and one you would use for zoom. So this is where you could do some adjustment. Also what you do is you have also vertical shift and left and right shift here that you can adjust as well. So there's a lot of configurability when it comes to placement and also how you can adjust this. What this translates to is really a very forgiving system when it comes to mounting. If you've ever mounted a projector, you've placed a projector somewhere, getting the alignment and the placement absolutely dead center or where you want it to be sometimes could be a challenge. Having this amount of give and flexibility really opens up really the utility of any room, depending if the room isn't always perfect for video. Now, if we move this over to the side, let's see what we have going on over here. There's a series of options or controls, and these mimic what you have in the remote control. You basically have your power button, right? You have eco, you have your indicators, power, temperature, and light. You have back, menu, source, and then you have again this control wheel. Very similar to what you find on the remote control itself. Oh, and by the way, just want to highlight that you do have some adjustment legs at the very bottom. We'll take a look at that in a couple seconds. But this really brings us to the remote. And the remote gives you, again, all of the functionality. It is a smart remote. It's Bluetooth paired. It also then has shortcut menus. It's Google enabled, so you can use your voice. And again, it's very compact and a very easy to use remote. On the back of the projector, what we find is a lot of options when it comes to ports and accessibility. Now, in this compartment here, this is where your Google TV stick is found. It's actually hidden, it's tucked away, it's powered. This is also, you have your power, and then you also have your HDMI, all tucked away nicely in here, which I love how compact it is. And I also like the fact that it is replaceable. So if you ever have a problem with the USB stick, or in this case, the Google TV, or for whatever reason, let's say that there's some drastic, massive changes that you need to upgrade something, you simply have to change this guy right here. You also then have several HDMI ports, right? Because this is taking up one, but then you have an HDMI 1, HDMI 2, and an HDMI 3. So you have a lot of options when it comes to configurability and usability. Now, for those of you who are looking for a USB, so here you have a USB on this side. Over here you have a media reader, right? You also then have your optical out. You also have SPDIF out here, standard audio, right? You have an RS-232. Now, some of these configuration options that you have over here, I don't know how much they're used, right? Because they're kind of legacy. You do have a 12-volt trigger here. These type of triggers are good for if you have, let's say, for example, one of those pull-down screens or those screens that come up from the ground. You could use a trigger for that. And then you have here a service port with your power port right here. So really, really standard, I would say, interfaces with some legacy, depending on what you have. So the cool thing about this is if you're starting a home theater from scratch, you have all the new stuff, and then you also have, if you're upgrading an existing theater, which is kind of dated, you then also have some of the legacy components here on this side as well. Now, on the bottom of the projector, you do have your two adjustable knobs here. You do have mounting options as well. So you can mount this on a ceiling if you wanted to have it, mounted on upside down. That's something you could do as well. Now, this projector is one of the brightest projectors that we've reviewed in this class for quite some time. And I just wanted to highlight, the screen in front of you is a 120-inch screen. It's an actual ambient light rejection screen. It's not even really designed for this specific type of projector, as it's designed to reject light from all areas except that which is coming from the bottom up when you look at ultra short throws. But you can see right here, this projector is performing incredibly well. You can see the windows on the left, you can see the windows on the right, you can even see a scooter that I'm reviewing there on the side. And you can see how vivid the reds are, the blacks are great, and then you also see how just overall it fits so nicely on the screen. Now, one of the things that sets this projector apart, as you saw from the specs, is the fact that it has the ability to highlight black level detail. And that's something that is really not something that is either understood or appreciated at times, because when you're looking at dark scenes, the mind kind of ignores what it can't see. But when you're watching a movie and you're having a projector that can actually represent the dark scenes well, you start seeing things that you never saw before. Matter of fact, with a projector like this, you'll find yourself wanting to rewatch movies to see what you missed. Think about movies like The Alien. Think about any kind of space type of movie where there's a lot of night scenes. This projector is going to highlight all of those details and allow you to see, again, details that you've missed when you were watching the movie and you just never knew they were there. Now, the projector that we're looking at here is really designed to be the home theater projector, but I have it here in my living room. You could use it in a setting like this because it does so well in lit areas with the right screen. The other thing that you'll notice here is that we do have Android TV, Google TV built in. And I think that that's a fantastic add-on. More and more projectors I see come with a smart TV solution built in, which means you don't have to worry about getting something secondary. It's tightly integrated. It feels like it's part of the solution. It's hidden. And I just appreciate when you see more and more of this and see what options we have here. Now, at the very bottom, you'll see that several menu options have come up. And again, I have light coming from the left and right. I also have a light source behind me. What I'll do is I'll turn off that light source just a bit so that you can see now the difference here. So now there's no light behind me and things will change a little bit. So here you basically have the ability to adjust some quick settings. You can have HDR AI cinema and it's going to change. It's going to try using AI to adjust the actual color profile so that you basically have a cinema type view, but it's going to take into account the content and use AI to do this. I see more and more AI being leveraged in a lot of different situations, and I really like that. You can switch it to filmmaker mode, and you'll notice that there's things changing here, the way the screen changes and the color as well. And we're going to give it a second for it to load because you'll notice how things are popping up. And the other thing that we'll see here is that this projector does support 3D. So if you have 3D glasses, you can do that as well. I'm going to go back to HDR10 standard so you can see the change that took place. And I actually hear this kind of clicking sound on the projector as it's switching from each one of these modes. Now over here you have sound modes as well. You can cinema, music, you have game mode, you have sports mode. And again, I find that the projector did well in gaming. I'm not a hardcore gamer. I do play, either a PlayStation, an Xbox. My kids also like the Nintendo Switch. Works fine. But again, I'm not a competitive gamer. And there are things when it comes to latency. Low latency is great. And I know that there are projectors that have even extreme low latency. In my case, I don't really need that. But you can see here all of the different options that you have when it comes to audio. From a light source, you have low dynamic, high dynamic, that if you switch it, you can see that there's a slight change there. And we'll go back to eco, and then you can go normal, right? We'll leave it on normal for now. You can adjust the keystone, the corner fits, and that's gonna be just how it goes against your wall. And the keystone capabilities are really important because surprisingly, not everyone's walls are straight, and especially depending on the age of your home, if it's an older home, your wall may be off. And as you're looking at content, it may not look right. Nilda, for example, suffers from vertigo, and anything that's not straight kind of makes her ill. So anytime we get a projector or anytime we put something up, I make sure that we have the right settings and to make sure that the keystone is correct so that she can enjoy the movie. So if you're in that situation, having the ability to adjust your keystone is good. The other thing is you have masking where you can mask bottom, top, right, and left. And again, this is going to give you the ability so that you don't have any kind of overspillage whatsoever when it comes to your image. You have fast mode. You can turn that on or off. And you can see how it's affecting the screen right there. You'll notice it's giving us some details on when you have that. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the other mode. So we'll leave it back on off. We then also have HDR brightness. So right now it's at 1. I just want to show you what happens when I continue to change it. So that's 2, and this is 1, 2, and 1. If you notice where it says hot air balloon, notice how it kind of lightens up a little bit. This is almost like going to the doctor, 1 and 2, or the eye doctor actually when they do that. I'll leave it at 1. You have information, and then you have the ability to edit this menu if you'd like to. Again, a lot of cool features that are quickly available at your fingertip. And then there's actually advanced modes. Now, the advanced mode is going to take you to the traditional BenQ menu. So if you have used the BenQ projector before, when you get in here, you're like, oh, I'm at home. Well, guess what? I do like the shortcut menu. Frankly, I feel that most of the changes, if any change I'm going to make, I do it in the shortcut, but it's good to know that you have the traditional, again, menu here. And so here you can, again, set your picture mode. You can set your audio output. You can work with your display. You can also determine, if this is going to be front throwing, rear throwing. There's all these type of settings that you can play with and configure. Not something that I'm going to be doing here, but something that you can do. You can also turn on the trigger capability, which means that, let's say, for example, you had a drop-down screen. As soon as the projector turns on, it's going to kick off your trigger, and it's going to launch your screen. System information, you can do firmware upgrades, and again, all the information about your projector is found here. So good, good options that you have. Now, at the very top of the menu, you run into standard, I would say, Google TV settings or Android TV settings, however you would refer to it. Let's go ahead and check out the menu. So I'm going to go ahead and just go into device-specific settings, and you'll notice that there's not a lot of going on here. They've really taken out a lot of those capabilities and taken it to their own settings. But here you can work with some things, like if we go into display and sound, we'll see what's in here. Here you can look at your screen resolution. You see it, that's going to auto switch based on that, and you can see the display mode or the color space. You can also then work with your screen position. But once again, all these settings that you see here are primarily going to be configured in the actual BenQ menu. So we'll just get out. Not a lot to play with here. Now, the other thing I wanted to highlight, and this is probably the #1 question I get when reviewing a projector, and that is this, does it support Netflix? Absolutely it does, and it's great that it does out of the box. This isn't a third-party app. This is a licensed version of Netflix, so you'll be able to benefit from all of the content that you get from Netflix. Again, great, again, performing projector. And one of my test videos that I run, well, this is one of my primary ones because it highlights a lot of different features that I look for in a projector. It looks at the black levels. It also looks at color. And what I'll say is, even in a setting like this projector is doing amazingly well. I love this turkey shot because of all the vivid colors, but not just the vivid colors. I'm also looking at the blacks. I'm looking at, again, all the detail that you're getting, how crispy the feathers are of the turkey. Look at the leaves. It's just very vibrant. This is a video that typically the whites blow out the background, and yes, there's such a thing as, again, detail that could be lost if the whites blow things out. And I can tell you, knowing what's behind this picture and the actual tree branches in the back, it's doing a really nice job with the details in bright scenes. Motion is also something to take a look at, and I love this, even though this can make someone sick depending on how you see motion. Looking at how well the motion actually is processed, the projector is really performing very, very well. And the cool thing about this projector is that it comes tuned from BenQ. So out of the box, this is not the type of projector that, if you've ever bought a TV at a big box retailer, you'll find that the TV looks great in the store, and then you take it home and it may not look the same. Well, that's not going to be the case here with BenQ. So you're going to get, again, great video experience throughout the entire video. And I'm going to fast forward this because there's a lot of good content here, but I want to take you to some dark scenes so that you can look at some of the detail. So we'll bring it over here. Look at this diamond. Look at the black level detail. Every facet of that diamond is being seen. Even at the very corner, the turntable is visible, which is something that other projectors would just not pick up. It just gets, lost in the detail. Let's go ahead and fast forward because there's another really nice dark scene I'm going to take you to. I'm going to bring it here. This is kind of towards the end, but I love this this shot. And again, this is really showing the detail coming out of that wine bottle as it's pouring out. Look at that. And then we're going to see a liquor shot just in a couple seconds. But again, great detail, fantastic looking black. It's just great. It's a really, really nicely performing projector. And again, most of what I do is short throw projectors, but this is doing really well. Really, really like it. And then here is another great one. And here we go. Look at how that sparkles, and look at the details coming from the actual bubbles. Just gotta love it. Now that wraps up our review. See you in the next video.